Welcome, Dave. Welcome to the studio. First guest.
Hi, Phil.
How does it feel?
Great.
Nice.
I'm surprised that you contacted me. I didn't expect it, that you guys would call me for a podcast.
We
but
did.
I'm very curious about it. And I will answer your questions.
Yes, we're going to have a lot. Yeah. So
we don't have any questions planned, though. So everybody knows.
like always.
We just free flow.
For the people that know, we always just whip it. We whip it.
Whip it out.
And just to introduce you quickly, Dave, this is Davide Greco. He's a professional colorist based here in Bern, Switzerland. He works internationally on commercials and documentaries mostly. He speaks 4 languages, we found out.
Yeah, that's true.
English, French, Italian, and German.
That's right, yes.
Good
Beautiful.
Lord.
Yeah.
And for a while now, he's been a member of C.S.I,
Mhm.
the Colorist Society International, which we're definitely going to be talking about as well
For
a
sure.
bit, which is interesting.
Mhm.
And on top of that, he doesn't only do colorist services, he also makes the life of other colorists a bit easier
Yeah.
with his own products that he sells online, like the Colorist Companion, which we'll definitely speak about as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome.
We'll have the link in the show notes for the.
Yes,
of
for
course.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes. First guest on our podcast. We're really excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
I hope this intro was
Was it accurate?
Accurate?
Did he
Yes.
say something wrong?
Pretty accurate. Yeah, thank you. I think the
that
most
you, Dave?
important things are said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. If you want to just take your microphone a bit closer to your mouth.
It's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can hear you better.
Do it like that.
I don't think we can hear you at all at the moment.
Hello, hello.
I can't hear you for sure.
Oh, yeah, perfectly good.
Can you hear him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
All
good.
I'm not really getting him, but that's good.
You don't have the feedback?
I'm not
Okay.
getting him. That's good. As long as you have him.
This is so unprofessional.
No worries. I'm the first guest, so
That's why.
it's pretty easy.
All right.
get him now. That was.
So, just
Sorry about that.
No worries.
just to start off the podcast, can you, because Phil did a quick intro about you, what you do and stuff, could you please give us like your story and how all the different steps that you took to get to where you are right now, and maybe a quick intro of
Yeah.
what you do.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So around in 2006, I started to produce music videos. Not big gigs, just I had back then I had a MySpace account. So I contacted some rappers from Switzerland, not the big guys, just so random rappers. So I had my experience as a filmmaker first.
Okay.
And since I was 14, I made short movies with my friends, with my father's camera. It was like a mini DV tape. So with no software, so no PCs, no Macs, we
Yeah.
cut it in the camera with record, stop, rewind, then cut,
Oh, shit,
and then
of
record.
course,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we
Dude.
do it that way.
You don't know about this because you're
I
too
mean,
young.
I've heard it, but I never.
Yeah.
Each time I hear it, I'm like shocked. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, so we concentrated really on story and have fun. Yeah, no like the light and the sound and rigging. No, it's just camera, idea, and filming.
Yeah.
And the music, we had a radio, so we put there a CD inside or or a tape, and then we just push play, and then the sound were recorded live. So,
So
no,
that was the sound for the music video.
yeah. So
That was
this,
it.
yeah. So
Wow.
this is like the workflow we had.
That's a
Pretty
solid
straightforward.
workflow. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's really because you don't have other choices.
Uh.
You know, with no computers,
Fuck.
we didn't have any opportunity or chance to make it better. So what you filmed is what you get at the end. So I started like that, and then in 2010 roughly, I was specializing myself for camera and DPing, but I was not a big DP guy who Switzerland knows at all. But this was my passion back then. And of course, because I needed money and I had a lot of energy and motivation, I also coded my stuff. I graded somehow my stuff with After Effects, and I had such fun producing music videos. And then my first real paid jobs were like events, movies,
Yeah.
like the standard stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I built up some connections and stuff like that. So I made also commercials then. And every time I started to lit my production, I was thinking like a colorist. So I made some kind of look already. Of course, you do it anyway, but remembering
You're a step
my
forward
past,
already.
I was not thinking like a like a DP. I was lighting like a colorist, yeah.
Yep.
So more of kind
Wow,
of
okay.
look. So every time I tried to grade my own productions, I had really fun. So DP, of course, it is fun and interesting, but I was more in like color grading, but I didn't realize it. I just made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And back then, the DaVinci Resolve was not available.
It wasn't even. It wasn't.
No,
it wasn't out. Right?
It was
no,
it
it was
super
out.
expensive.
Yeah,
it's
it was out, but only because it was so expensive. It was only for the big post houses
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
So I didn't even heard about DaVinci
Yeah, it's
Resolve.
very, very high end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back then I coded my stuff, then I put it in After Effects, and there with some basic tools like curves, tint, duotone, tritone, like vignetting, adjustment layers, I created looks. But
Wow.
it was nothing professional. It was just trying out.
Yeah.
And then Resolve came out, and then I started to go into Resolve. I took like a 6-day color grading course in Germany with Blake Jones. He's a very famous colorist. And I asked him if it is possible to have a one-on-one course. Because back then Resolve was not so intuitive like it is like right now with drag and drop, and it's the timeline is made.
Yeah.
So
When is that
was-
now? Sorry, what time are we
Yeah,
talking?
I think it was
10
like
years.
8 years ago
Okay.
that I
Yeah.
started with Resolve. I think it was version 7 or something.
Right.
Like
So
that.
11 versions ago.
Now it's
Yeah.
18 something.
18,
huh?
Now it's 18, yeah.
Wow.
So
yeah.
like version 7. I don't remember right.
I would like to see a screenshot right now of how
I don't have
thing
any.
looks.
Yeah, I don't
We're gonna
have
find
any.
one. We're
Yeah,
gonna find one.
maybe you'll find one. Yeah, it was very difficult to set it up that the timeline works with the XML workflow and stuff like that. But I took the course, and then he showed me some really good tips how to balance shots, some basic stuff that I still use his
Wow.
tips. And then I realized in Switzerland, if I introduce myself as a, for example, DP/editor/colorist, I don't get my dream clients
Yeah.
in color grading.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I separated the whole thing. DP, I quit, and then I started to be a colorist and really go into it, reading books and exercise it, and watch movies by watching movies. Yeah, because back then YouTube was not so popular like it is right now.
Yeah.
So then searching for how to create looks, how to set up something, it was not
No chance,
available.
huh? Yeah.
I bought a book from Steve Hullfish, a very famous color grading book. And in this book, it's not Da Vinci based. The exercises are made for Apple Color. I think it's the name of the color grading suite from Apple years ago. But the information and how to approach a picture is the same.
Yeah.
If you use Da Vinci or Premiere Pro, it's the same.
Still the same. Huh?
It's still the same, other tools, but the procedure is always the same. So I started to gain knowledge by reading books and watching
Wow.
movies and the 6-day color grading course that I had. And everything else is just trying out, mess up productions, because my first real color grading jobs was not, David, you did a great job. It's just, we don't feel it yet. What about here? What about here and there? This was really struggling, but it's always like that. The first things you do, the new thing you do, it's always hard.
Of course.
Yeah.
So the only formal training you got was these 6 days.
Yeah.
Like really training from from
Yeah.
somebody that knows more, that teaching you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the book.
Still to this day.
Till to this day, I work.
Wow.
Of course, a little bit different because you have, with experience earned, you get your own style, how to create something or how to fix something. But the basic steps, I really work till today like he used to work, or at least how he taught me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That just stayed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's simple and it's effective and you don't complicate. You're great. Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
complicate
yeah,
it. Yeah,
understand.
because you really have to work at first, at least simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it gets complicated. Yeah, because otherwise it gets complicated when customer have feedbacks
Yeah.
and you build it up very difficult. So then,
To adjust
where
then,
do you put the note that you don't mess up the qualifier or something else?
Yeah.
So you really have to keep it simple
Yeah.
if possible. Some shots are difficult because they messed up. So your job is to fix
Yeah.
it. And sometimes you have to relink some notes in another way
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
working with plugins. So it gets more complicated. But in general, really you have to keep it simple. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We just recorded an episode about keeping it simple, which is
Yeah.
gonna come out the week after this podcast.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we just talked about keeping it simple because it's everywhere with everything. In filmmaking, keeping it simple helps so much because there's always ways to overcomplicate and overuse and over.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
good thing is if you keep it simple and you have to fix something, you know where to fix because you have maybe 3 notes. So it must be in this note or in
Yeah,
this or in
yeah.
this to get the most out of it. But the way when you have like 10 notes just to fix a regular shot, so it's not a good starting point.
100%.
It's not a good starting point.
And I think it's very interesting to see as well that even if you didn't have access to YouTube and the content that's out there now,
Yeah.
you basically did what like people actually do nowadays, even with access to it. You started to learn with someone you trusted, like a professional,
Yeah.
the base, and then you have to practice, and that's
Yeah.
what made you the colorist you are today and the high level you work at. Just because it's not someone taught you everything, he taught you the base, and then you just had to develop your own style and stuff. And I think that's what's really interesting. It's not that you went to school and
Right.
you learned everything and then that's it. And I think this is something we talk about a lot as well, is that you can learn as much as you want from other people, but you only get better by doing stuff.
Yeah, and the disadvantage to be a colorist is that you cannot learn it yet officially at a school or in a university of art or something like that.
There's no formal training. For
No,
it.
it's not. So the best scenario for an upcoming colorist, in my opinion, is to find a senior colorist who is really, really experienced, a top-notch one, and then in a year or two you gain so much knowledge instead of doing my way with a huge learning curve. You start from nowhere, and then you have to make so much mistakes to figuring out how to be better in the future. So this is I spend a lot of time just learning, and if you have the chance to work at least just for 1 year with a professional colorist working every day or at least a couple of days a week, it level up your skills so dramatically fast.
So fast.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I agree 100%, but I think because I always had that thing. When I started out, I was always about everything, not just filmmaking and this passion. I was always about learning from the mistakes of others.
Yeah.
I was like, why the hell do people always make the same mistakes over and over again? Each one, like if they're entrepreneurs who wanna build their own business, if they're filmmakers in whatever department, in anything, why humans, like when they grow up, they always make the same mistakes. And I was always like, that's so dumb. Why? I mean, this guy, 10 people who are older than you and further, can tell you don't do this because I made the same mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, and I'm only realizing this now that I'm getting older, some mistakes you just have to make for yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and you can get so far. I mean, I 100% agree. If you shadows a person like that, you expel like really, really fast.
Mhm.
But at some point, you only get so far. You don't get all the way. Some, like the last 20%, I say, for example, you have to make for yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Like you did.
Yeah, of
because
course.
there is no way around it, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Mhm.
Because
You just have to do it.
yeah, because at the end, the mentor gives you his point of view, and he's right about it for his style,
Yeah.
and then maybe you see some kind of stuff that he learned, that he taught you, that you don't agree 100%
Yeah.
because you have your own style, so you have to adapt. But it's good to know how he does it, so you can change something for
Yeah.
yourself. And
Gives you a point of view, yeah.
yeah, because just copy pasting a senior's style,
Yeah.
it's good, of course, because he does great things.
Yeah,
so
he's
you
successful with it,
Yeah,
so must be good.
Yeah, but developing your own approach, it's definitely something that you have to do.
Of course,
in my
that's why you
opinion.
get booked as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
other than that, like,
And that's
they-
also what
yeah.
you want. You
Of
want
course.
to have your style, and people
Yeah.
booking you for your style. They want to be like, this is perfect for Dave. Like Dave would do that.
But
Yeah.
what's interesting as well is like if you know how other people would do it, sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where you can't really apply like necessarily the way you would do it, but you need to find a workaround. And knowing the other ways to do it, I think it's a great help as well in some situations.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hey, do you hear me fine?
Yeah, I hear you fine. It's this button.
Can you hear me fine here? Because I can't hear you.
You're
can-
not 3, you're 2. That's why.
Yeah, but can you hear?
This is number 2. Now it's getting louder.
La la la. Ah, okay,
Yeah, you got 2.
sorry.
Good.
No worries. Easy.
I have a question because, like you said, you started when you started DPing essentially
Yeah.
for a little bit. Do you think that this experience and all the work you've done as a DP has helped you understanding the projects you work on nowadays, maybe the limitations when you're shooting and stuff like this, to help when you color grade footage from other DPs? Do you think this experience helped you?
Yeah, being a colorist, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I do also a lot of relighting.
Okay,
Yeah, so not because I want to, but if I see some kind of improvement, if I could put a mask there and make it brighter and here a little bit darker, you create some more depth, maybe.
yeah,
So in color grading, when I analyze like the lighting, I watch it in a perspective of me being a DP.
okay,
Yeah. So I do a lot of relighting stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
For people that don't understand, can you just walk us through what, for example, could relighting mean?
Relighting means improvement of local contrast, for example. Like I said, it's like a dodge and burn technique, let's say, where where you see, okay, the light is coming from the right, maybe, so you make that light maybe brighter, and outside this mask you make everything darker, so this light feels more like it has more strength in the picture. Or maybe it is too soft or it is too strong. Even if it is too strong, maybe I make that part darker and less contrast with maybe a little bit less saturation, and then maybe in the corner left we have to see more information because it makes the story, so the grading fits better the story. So I really go into it and make something brighter and darker, or even shape the light. Let's say
100%.
the soft light from the right hits everything
Yeah.
in the picture, from the bottom to the top. Maybe you don't want that because you want to create more depth in the picture. So you make like a mask on the top of the picture, on the bottom of the picture, and then the light feels like it was flagged.
okay,
Right.
gotcha. Yeah.
So you you have more depth in the picture, and not everything is bright.
Right.
Some parts are bright or some parts are dark, and this is what I do. Yeah.
I'm gonna do some relighting too, because I think this tube needs to be more in your face.
Or I can maybe correct it in post.
We're not gonna send
I'll
you the
send you the
1080p ProRes file that we're doing now.
I'll send you the file if you want to grade this podcast. Sure.
Why not?
That's much better, yeah.
I think what you said helps me transition to my next question, because essentially what you do as a colorist, you obviously give a look, but you also add a lot of your creativity and like your understanding of the scene by reshaping the light and stuff. So you put point of interests in the pictures and stuff. How this creative process works in collaboration with the director, the DP, what's the process like on shoots? Do you get the footage and then you do maybe a call with the DP or the director to set a specific look, then you work, then do you get feedback, or do they come and work in sessions with you? How does this work?
Yes. So
Yeah, what's a typical workflow?
Yes,
Right?
for my particular workflow is the following. So I was not booked once during the pre-production. So I am not like mainly booked for feature films where you have really, hopefully, to discuss it previously, the look and the feel and the mood, and the DP with the director and the actors do some pre-shots so they can analyze it and define the look, and then the colorist creates the lot, the show lot, that the DP can put it in the camera so he see every time the look that they are going for. So my workflow is that it's pretty simple. I get booked. So they call me, they write me if I can do this work and what is the budget and stuff like that. And then when everything is set up, then I talk normally or with the director, DP, or the production, so the producer, or just with the DP, or with both. I don't know. It
Depends.
Yeah, it depends on who is the producer and if the DP has time or not for discussing the look. But normally I have a briefing. Yeah, and this is via mobile. So not via email.
Yeah.
So it's spoken, and then sometimes if they get really precise already what they are looking for, they send me also some mood boards.
Yeah.
Or I ask.
That's not usual?
That is usual.
That's usual,
yeah,
right?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But sometimes I ask or they just send me. But sometimes I really ask for, have you some kind of reference?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's
then,
just images, just stills usually.
yeah, stills, and then maybe also some notes. I like just the highlights. I like the contrast because I just watch the picture and then maybe I think they like everything.
Yeah.
But it's always specific.
Yeah,
things
it's always specific. But some kind of mood boards are pretty straightforward, with just pictures and let's figuring out what you can do with this kind of inspirations. Or they really write what they like about some specific pictures, so I don't get confused. Maybe.
Yeah, I have that problem too, because always when I send in stills to somebody that's just grading, or if I'm getting stills from my director, I'm always like, okay, but what do you like about this image? Because this image is 1,000 things together.
Yeah.
Lighting, composition, framing, lens size, background, colors, everything. And it's always like, what do you like about this? And then, because some things you will understand that they like, and they might mean something completely different.
That's
which
true.
is super interesting.
That's why communication is so important, because like, even if the perception of someone's, like, you look at a picture and like you see something, but if you try to transcribe it in words, then 100% you're not going to get it correctly.
100%.
So I think that's why like references is like one of the most important things.
Discuss
as a colorist, but also as DP, like, lens choices, like, you go full frames, like whatever, like this helps tremendously. And I think a lot of agencies and production companies, they're very aware of this, at least from what I get. I also get references for DP work, and like, it's super easy. But my question was, do you get in touch via mobile phone, Is this during the pre-production process?
No.
No, always post-production.
Yep.
So they shot everything already.
Yep.
And then how do you? What's the workflow when you say, okay, I have time, the budget fits me? What's the workflow like after this?
After they accepted the budget,
Yeah.
So they sent me the picture. So I sent first if we work the first time, or they say, look, we don't work a lot with colorists, but now we want. So I sent them a checklist. And in this checklist is written how I should have the project. So it's like a consolidated timeline that is clean, for example, with no effects in it, with no speed ramps, that I have just one WAV
graphics,
file, no 10 tracks of some sound design stuff. I just need one waveform, and how they consolidate the timeline in Premiere Pro, for example, and how to generate the XML. And then I also ask at the end how they want to get the footage back.
Yeah.
If they wanted like one file or just a XML round trip back with individual clips, in which resolution. So then we talk about this technical stuff first.
Yeah.
And then the workflow, then they can send me the whole package with their server or on my server, and then it's pretty straightforward. Download and just
get
put it in.
integrating.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna restart the
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, we have to cut the cameras at 30 minutes because we don't use the cameras that we usually use, and every 30 minutes is gonna be a cut, and Romain is gonna,
It is just this camera.
It's
It's
just
just a
this
one.
Sony.
Just that one,
The
yeah.
Sony one.
because the newer Sonys they have they don't have
And
recording
less.
limits
And the
anymore.
Blackmagic doesn't have any.
This one is an
limit.
older one that we're using
okay.
today, and so they have the
Yeah.
30 minutes limit.
Okay.
That's okay.
Got it.
We'll manage.
So we're getting a little bit technical because I think a lot of people are interested in this. We the XML that, like you asked, do you prefer to work with the XML, or do you sometimes work with like just ProRes files that they send you?
No, so if I can choose, I would always in XML because there is no transcoding. It's just the raw footage. If it is ProRes already, because I shot it with Alexa or another camera, it doesn't matter. But it is important for me that it's not transcoded yet.
Yeah.
But I had also grading jobs where they did, look, we send you just one file, and then I make the recut in DaVinci Resolve, and this works also if they send it me in ProRes 444 in 4K or HD. It doesn't matter if if it is shot pretty good and well lit. It doesn't matter a lot because you do not have to qualify 10 times. I mean, you don't have to use the qualifier tool a whole lot of time. You have to tweak and just create the look.
Right.
Yeah. But if they shoot it in RAW, if it is retro or BRAW or ProRes RAW, I don't know, then it is a shame if
Of course.
You
Of
don't
course.
get the
if
That
I
would
don't
be-
get
makes
the
some
RAW.
sense,
Yeah.
So
I
you
mean,
handle it via, you have a server where people can upload it,
Yeah.
and you have enough space there for
So
terabytes of stuff.
no. So yes, but I have another solution. So I don't want like 100 of gigabytes or I don't know 500 terabytes. I mean of servers. So I subscribed to a service who is called Massive.
Okay.
And on this server, you can create portals, your own account, your own login for customers, and they can upload in very fast speed. I think it is till 10 gigabit per second if you have this connection.
Of course, you need the internet. Yeah.
And there, I don't have to pay every month something. I pay only if I or the customer download
Okay.
footage.
Oh, so you have free the space, but
Yeah.
every time you download, you pay for it.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
okay.
I pay for downloading my grading footage,
Yeah.
and I pay if they download the footage that
you send back.
So the master version of
Perfect.
yeah. So in the price, it's already some kind of included
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I know the average space that I will get in a consolidated timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can
Perfect.
charge for it anyways.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
it's not a huge
Yeah.
expense either. So
So now you spoke about how your typical workflow is.
yeah,
Does it differ a lot from the perfect workflow, from what it's supposed to be and what you wish for in each client? Because I know what's perfect workflow and what's in reality the workflow. It's often there's a big gap.
yeah,
Can be a big gap.
yeah.
So how is that for you?
No, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
There are some exceptions of course, but I'm really happy with the
Yeah.
workflow because I don't deal with the end client. I have producers,
Yeah.
directors, and
Yeah.
DOPs, and they know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
I know hopefully what I'm talking about.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and so it's pretty straightforward, and they
Yeah.
are very nice organized. My customer, what we could improve in general, but it's unrealistic. It's the feedback rounds. So
Yeah, of course.
the best
everywhere.
scenario is the most one that I have. I deal with one person or maybe two, but there are some projects more people are involved
Yeah.
in the feedback round because
And
they
the
are,
more people, the less
The
fun
more
it
of a
is.
pain in the
Yeah.
ass.
yeah, because then you have
Yeah.
the agency,
Yeah.
then you have the director, then the DOP. So the best scenario is always if the person in charge is in my grading suite.
Yeah.
And we defined it, we create it, and then it's done. And then maybe they send it to the client
Yeah.
just because they have to. But in general, when you have feedback sessions already with the director and with the DOP, you have a pretty good pictures
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they are happy and they are normally in charge of this.
Yeah.
So if then the agency comes in later, in a later process, then it's maybe a feedback because the pack shot, the logo is not sharp enough or the color is not right yet.
But it's very minor
yeah,
tweaks. So.
it's minor tweaks, but not, the look, it should be
Yeah.
cooler or warmer
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
shadows. So you deal that with the director and DP already.
In the
a
beginning,
best-
especially, right?
In the beginning already, yeah.
So this is decided, and
Yeah.
you can make a
Yeah,
check on that
but-
and then go on.
But trouble is when everyone is involved more or less at the same time.
Yeah.
Always, every step of the productions.
Yeah.
If too many people are
Yeah.
like ask their advice or
It
opinion,
doesn't
is
work
terrible.
out. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you say that you like it better when the DP or director comes into your grading suite,
Yeah, or at least remote.
or at least remote.
Yeah.
So do you do that on every project, if feasible, or?
Yeah, so no, I would say 90% of the time I work alone.
Okay.
And then when I'm finished, I send it to the director or the person in charge.
Yeah.
And then you have feedback sessions. And then the rest, 10%, they are in my suite.
Okay.
If I would live in Zurich, then maybe I have 90% in my suite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But most of my clients in Switzerland, of course, they are in Zurich.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a travel time to get to your.
Yeah, and they
suite,
don't have the time or they don't want to.
Yeah.
So to be a colorist in Zurich would be the perfect place to be
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
colorist or even
course.
filmmaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Always
everything
for
is there.
everything.
Is
The whole
yeah.
the whole industry is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because, for example, what I like to do with colorists, I like to send them the footage, the edit.
Of course.
Show them what it is, how it's shot, and then some references, like you said. I'll describe, just like you said. I'll describe. Look, I like this here. I like that here. Here I'm open, and here I don't know. I'd like to your suggestions and everything. And then what we usually do is I get back like a hero shot. That is it, like a suggestion from the grader or for the grading person, that just sending it back, kind of like, look, I would do that. I suggest this and this, and then we discuss like based on this hero shot, more or less.
Yeah.
And then we go with that, and then basically grades based off of that.
Why not? Yeah. Yeah, of course.
You like to do that too?
Yeah. So they ask me sometimes to send me just one or two pictures, but sometimes I'm so into it. All
You grade everything.
It's
Yeah.
done. You don't need anything.
Finished.
No, I mean, I'm so into it. I would not prefer just in the first 10 minutes to send them something.
Okay.
So I wait really at least for the half of the basic grade. Also the first half of the project.
Okay.
Or even if I'm fast, I even create the whole thing and then I send it. But it's not already perfect. It is like 80%.
Yeah.
And then I send them. And if they say I don't like it, for example, I know at least because it's built simple where to correct.
Okay. So it's not a big hassle. To
No,
change
it's not a big hassle. If you ask me 10 years ago, then it was a hassle because I don't know how to. I don't know how to deal with that feedback. But
you had it happening 10 times, 100 times, and then you realized I need to build it so I can adjust in case they don't like it.
And then you also you have a feeling from the experience what the customer want.
Yeah.
So this is a huge part.
Does it happen a lot?
Knowing what they want, or how to interpret their wishes. Because when a customer says, I want more contrast, let's say, it doesn't really mean that they want more contrast.
No, it's so subjective, and also
so that's why you have to really understand what they could mean. So I talk a lot with them.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
In feedback sessions, if I see on my screens, we have a lot of contrast already. It's like you want it. Let's say in theory, let me ask what you really mean. So I call them, and then I saw your feedback, more contrast on this shot. Could you explain exactly what you mean? And then maybe it's color contrast.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's brighter. You know.
That's why it's easier to collaborate on these fine adjustments with people who actually know what they're talking about. Just in terms of like language.
Yeah.
It's like same thing when you DP and stuff, and like the client is here, and they always say pan this, but like it's everything is panning, like, but I don't know, but it's very interesting to see how it's not like a one thing said and done and you send it and it's finished. It's a first big step, and then it's fine tuning, and I think this is how you get to the excellent level that you're at. Is like it's a process, and I think people sometimes don't understand how important this process is to get to the right picture. So this is very interesting. I just to transition to another topic. Switzerland is a rather small market in terms of filmmaking if you compare it to maybe the US or
Germany,
UK or Germany, just even Germany.
In Germany,
How do you go about getting new clients, customers? Because I'm sure with the experience you have, you already know a lot of production companies or maybe even DOPs and stuff. But what's your view on getting new clients and getting new projects?
Yeah, so a lot, I would say more than 90%, it's that they suggest me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So DPs suggest you?
Yeah, DPs or a director, or they heard about. Yeah. So me writing clients, I do that, but it was not so successful compared to when someone says, hey, you call Dave.
Yeah.
Try it out.
Always works
This
out
has
better,
more impact. Yeah.
100%.
Because being a good colorist in sense of creating looks and stuff, there are a lot of people who are good. But when someone suggested you, that means he knows him a little bit, maybe he's sympathetic and has some kind of
nice to work with.
Nice to work with. So that's why, in my opinion, to be suggested, it's the best part. So to answering your question, 90% I would say it's someone suggested me, and the other 10% is I'm writing, I want to meet them or stuff like that. Yeah.
And so you choose people that match you, that fit your style, fit your workflow, fit whatever you want to do.
When I write them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I would love to work with them.
Yeah.
So
But based
I
on
tr-
what?
Yeah, based on quality
Okay.
and so
Size of projects.
yeah. So if I'm looking for a DP, let's say, I want a DP that I wish I could work for him
Right.
because he
Right.
does great stuff.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the thing
100%.
because I don't know them.
Mm.
So mostly the one that I wrote. So I hope I get to know them. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And has that worked out? You said not super, but sometimes.
So yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes we are just chatting
Yeah.
because you have to understand that DPs at a certain level, they sometimes can not even decide who's the colorist because it's the agency.
Yeah.
And if they can choose, they know already top-notch colorists. So you are not always the first priority. Oh,
Of course.
Dave contacted me. Yes,
Finally,
finally.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just okay.
He's
Cool.
already-
Let's
already
meet.
got 12.
Maybe if one day I have a production that fits our needs, I can contact you, but it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's like an investment. It's like networking. It's
Yeah,
getting to know, putting your name out,
yeah,
and stuff will happen, or sometimes it doesn't.
yeah. And sometimes you don't hear from them, from the agency or from the director or from the DOP years, and then one day
Yeah.
they write you, and and then you say,
You're like,
okay,
wow.
cool. Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah,
We texted. Yeah.
let's try it out. Let's try it out, and
So
then you hope that you do a great job.
Yeah. You still do that to this day sometimes, reaching
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
Nice.
but it's
Like through Instagram or
yeah, Instagram and really from email. Yeah.
email. Okay, email
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah. So sometimes I prepare like an email. So introduction and
Yeah.
why I would meet them, why I want to work with them, and that hopefully one day
Perfect.
or if he want to chat like in a video call
Yeah.
in Zoom or something, I'm really open to it. And mails like that.
Yeah.
But I have to admit I'm not a salesperson.
Yeah. No one is.
I don't
It
think
feels like no one is
artist
really.
is really a
Because
salesperson, so it's
this
hard.
helps, you know,
Yeah.
because as a sales you have this motivation to contact people. You know how to do it. You know how to how to say, if you don't write back, you know how to reach them again.
Yeah.
And if it not, you call him. So I don't have this kind of
Yeah.
character,
Yeah.
you know, that
A lot of people
sales
don't.
pushing. I'm good at when the customer wants to reach out to me, I'm pretty good in understanding, communicate, to make it comfortable,
Yeah. Right.
but to really catch them,
Get there.
yeah, to really get there, if they don't write back or they write maybe back in a couple of weeks, to really go into sales, it helps. But
Yes,
I'm
It's
not
very hard.
Yeah,
It's very hard.
but it's very hard if you're not the type of human being
Yeah,
to
yeah.
force sales,
Yeah.
to get clients.
No, but I think for me the way around. I mean, I'm the same way. I also I don't enjoy it. It's for me it feels like sale, and it's this
Yeah.
uncomfortable. This you wanna bring something onto them that they might not even want. And,
Yeah, might. Yeah.
And but a lot of times for me it's just I try to just do it by just being nice and friendly and nice to work with, because I think that's what I like when I work with, for example, colorists or whatever collaboration. I like to work with people that are nice to work with,
Easy to
that
work with.
easy to work with,
Yeah.
and also fun, just that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be the best, but if it doesn't vibe, if it's always a pain in the ass, and also communicating, and it's always like it doesn't feel like a collaboration,
Yeah.
then you might not even want to work with them, even
Yeah.
if they're better than all the others you know.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's the easiest way to kind of be a salesperson.
Yeah.
Not even be a salesperson, but to get there. It's the easiest way.
And I think like the best way to get new work, a new client, if you have a sort of a network on Instagram and stuff, is just by showing the work you do. Because at the end of the day, people want to work with you because like they like the what you do,
Yeah.
essentially. And I think this has been proven right over the last years, where Instagram has, for the creative people, I think it's a beautiful tool to reach
Yes.
out, because otherwise it's only emails and stuff,
discovered
very
especially.
and to be discovered. Yeah,
Spam.
spam.
Yeah, you
Spam.
never know. Yeah,
Yeah, of
You
course.
never know if you land there.
Yeah. And then oh, go check out my website, and you have to keep your website
Yeah.
up to date, and then it's a
Yeah.
hassle. They have to click
Yeah.
stuff. Instagram, you go there, you basically see the 9 first images.
Yeah.
You basically have a good understanding
Yeah.
of like the look.
And you
like,
don't have
kind
the
of
important step is you don't have to go anywhere. For
Yeah.
websites, you have to actively go on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're never just on somebody's website by accident, you know, or very, very rarely.
Instagram.
But on Instagram,
yeah.
you hang around there anyway, and then you discover stuff, and it's gonna, if they're interested in color or filmmaking and DP, then you're already in their algorithm, and then you might get in there. So they're already there.
Mhm.
They don't need to go anywhere.
What's
And-
your approach on social media? Because your
Yeah.
work and what you do is highly visual.
Yeah.
So platforms like Instagram would be like a really good fit for it.
Yeah. So
You have Instagram.
Yeah.
I do know. Yeah.
So I have to admit I use it pretty simple. You know, I just post when I have work that I can show and I want to show,
Yeah.
and then I could improve by making interesting description, maybe with some inside information.
Right.
But I don't do it.
Okay.
I'm just pretty like, look, this is my new work.
Yeah.
my new color grading
Just showing.
work. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the client, this is the DP and stuff.
Right.
I could improve there. What I do when I give color grading courses or I have a new product and stuff, then I put it on the story, of course,
Yeah.
and I put a reel or something. Yeah, but I could improve. And then when I follow someone who I liked to work,
Mm-hmm.
then I write a message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think like
That
the,
I'm here
yeah.
and yeah.
Would you like to do more on Instagram?
more Instagram content?
Yeah, like
Or-
would you be more active? Would you like to like you said
if you
put
had
more
the
infos
time.
out there?
If I had the time, no, so
Or is it like that's what I
no,
want
so
to do?
I enjoy the platform,
Yeah.
but I don't want to spend like every day posting stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even if I could, I cannot.
Yeah.
But even if I could, really every day, and then high value content. I mean, if you just send pictures without any description, without any hashtags, just pictures, of course I could do it. But if you want like level up that, it's time consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much.
It's almost a full-time work. job.
Yeah. If you
Like,
really
at least
want,
part time. Like
Yeah.
you got to do 50-50
Yeah.
at least. Like
Yeah.
if you are not
Insane.
like well-known, international well-known colorist, if you're not like that, then you have to give some insights that the people are really
You have to-
liking it and spread it, you know, with some inside information. And doing this, I could do it, but it even takes more time.
Yeah.
But it's not an excuse. I mean, it's like, do you want to grow or not?
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, do you want more
Yeah.
clients or not? Maybe. So you have to put some more work in it on social
you
media.
have to give people value. I
Yeah.
always say that.
Yeah.
Because not also me, I don't give value on my Instagram.
Yeah.
I post pictures. Sometimes I just show how stuff is on set, and I show people how I work, but I don't give value. I mean, nobody's following it because they're like, oh wow,
It's
I'm-
interesting.
I'm
yeah.
learning, or it's
Yeah.
interesting, or it's super funny. It's
Yeah, I think
don't give value, to be
content on
honest.
social media either have to be educational, so you learn something, or cool,
Entertaining.
like fun,
Entertaining,
entertaining.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Or
think
you are
this
well
is-
known and you can
yeah.
post whatever
Yeah.
you want, and
Of course.
everyone is so awesome. You know.
But that's I think that's a very Swiss thing, because we don't brag a lot. We don't like to put ourselves out there too much. I feel like
It's always it's bragging very fast.
it's bragging very fast.
Yeah.
Oh, I post one story. I am on this shoot. I do this. Ooh, people might say, "Oh, I'm bragging." Whereas, like in other cultures, yeah, it's not bragging. It's just like the way it is. You know,
Yeah.
you show stuff, and that's the big difference between, I think, Europe and Switzerland in general compared to maybe the US or bigger markets like this.
100%.
where-
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Could you hand me the water?
Yeah, for sure. I'm just gonna
Oh, the
restart the
camera,
camera.
Yeah. Now, interesting is hard. Interesting is hard. Instagram is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I underrated years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you start late to use Instagram?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say, yeah. I don't know if it is 5
Thank you so
years,
much.
maybe.
Yeah.
It feels like 5.
Quite late. Yeah.
Maybe it's 4 or even 6, but it feels like around 5.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe on Instagram you can check it out in your preference when you
I think
commit
you
it.
can check when
Yeah.
you
But I would say
create the
maybe
profile.
I went pretty late.
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, yeah, I could focus on,
Yeah.
You had
of
other
course.
stuff to do.
yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
But no, I think it is Instagram for artists is a thing that you should not ignore.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think it's even possible? Because I had a phase where I was really interested in that. Do you think it's possible for a digital artist, like ourselves mostly, to even like grow and become an artist without Instagram?
Yeah.
You can, but
think
no
it's
one
possible?
sees it.
Yeah.
But then are you
because-
really? I mean, you are an artist, but maybe a known artist for something
Yeah.
and get work.
I mean, I don't get my work on Instagram.
No,
No.
never.
I had, yeah.
Okay.
I have, of course, but it's not like every week or every month. It's one or two, maybe, sometime.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but the most part, I mean, like 99%, it's really not on Instagram.
Yeah.
For me,
But
if
you
I
started
had,
earlier. That's
Yeah.
I think if you start today, that's kind of the-
yeah, but if
I would be
you don't
interested in if that's
use
even worse.
like social media, then you have to write or call real people.
Yeah.
I mean, there are also real
No,
people,
yeah.
of course,
No,
but you
I know what
really
you mean, yeah.
have to
Yeah.
write, to send,
Yeah.
to call agencies or
Yeah.
DPs or whatever it is
And I
in your
think
case.
today
yeah.
for young people this is very hard. Because on Instagram
Yeah.
it's so simple, like you're following anyway, maybe you answer to a story, and so you're already like a step in the door.
Yeah,
and then
but it's
texting
small,
them,
yeah.
it's super easy.
Yeah.
But actually picking up the phone, calling an agency, a production, whatever, the director, and hey, putting you out there, that's a whole other step.
But yeah, at least for me, there are always exceptions. But I don't think that if you at least, like me, don't have like a fan base or a big YouTube channel, or even you start a YouTube channel, or you don't have really a community, then it's pretty hard,
Yeah.
in my opinion, to get jobs on Instagram or Facebook. It's possible, but like I said, if you don't have a fan base, then who cares about you?
Yeah. I think
But
Instagram.
there are
100%.
exceptions. Like I said, there are exceptions. Really talented people who can really already show that you have worked with high-end clients.
Yeah.
Of course, it's another perspective.
Yeah.
But if you just start,
Yeah.
I want to be a DP, and I put some generic videos. Really, who cares about
There's
you?
1,000 people that do that already in your region.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Instagram is a great tool to reach out to people in your community or like your region, but it's also like it's almost like a website to some extent for you told me about Dave, he's a colorist. Yeah, go check out his Instagram. As I said, you go
So
on the
quickly.
profile, super
Yeah.
quick. I think this is
Within seconds you have
it's
an
a
impression.
portfolio basically.
Yeah.
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 That brings me to another topic. I think it's like you said, either you have a big following, you're known, or you have a very specific look, you have a very specific style that you're known for. That really people like. I don't know if you see something. I don't know, super dark, very very cold, dark, moody. Then you know. Oh, for example, that's Dave. Do you have a style? How would you describe?
No, I have a style like working.
Okay. But in terms
practical,
of visual,
But in terms of
color?
visual, I don't think you should have your own style, I think.
No,
In color grading, I don't think so.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Because, of course, it is nice if you have a really distinctive style. Okay, but you can book only for this, and then
Yeah.
maybe it's a trend, because you set it up to trend,
right.
because you invent it, So you can be booked very, very much for this kind of style. But if it's outside this style, what's then? Because color grading, it's always about story. And every story is different. You have to adapt. You cannot say, okay, it's like dark and blue and desaturated. Let's
Yeah.
say and then the story, it's nothing about that.
Yeah.
Dark
Yeah.
and
That would mean that
and-
these people are not going to come to you.
yeah, because if I want that kind of look, I go to Dave or to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
But you have really to understand stories and understand colors and
Yeah.
mood and the perception, and then create it. So I hope that no colorist has his own style, you
Yeah.
know.
Wow, that's
Maybe his own style of, I don't know, maybe it is something there that you can maybe
subtle, huh?
suggest, yeah, this could be
Uh-huh.
Dave, or this could be, I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
who.
typical for his
Yeah,
work.
maybe
Yeah.
it could be, but if you really see it from the beginning, then it could mean that
Wow.
everything looks the same,
Yeah.
more or less.
So what would you say is more important for a colorist, being really good technically or being really creative?
Yeah, you need both, yeah.
Yeah.
If you are just creative and you don't understand, let's say, color management or how to set up a project, and you need assistant for this, okay, this works. You have an assistant and you focus only on
Creative, yeah.
Creative, and then the other person just executes?
on the fun part, yeah.
Yeah.
But understanding also codecs, cameras, lens,
You have to.
vignetting, anamorph, and I don't know what.
Yeah.
So the second, you need both, yeah.
That's interesting because
how to use.
my theory is kind of that these days, I mean, for colors, I completely understand. I never thought of it like specifically that way because I thought with everything you kind of need your style. But I think these days having your own style, especially like in almost all the other departments and all the other jobs,
Yeah.
is getting more and more important because it's so much easier these days to create images.
That's right.
There's
yeah.
so much more generic stuff out there. There's so many more people doing that because it's more accessible. Like we said, everything is getting cheaper. The information is out there. There's YouTube. So there's more and more people doing the stuff, and the quality is also raising because it's getting easier to create. Because 20 years ago, it was super hard to create something that almost anyone can create today. So it's getting more and more important to have your own style, to really be able to be called up for something, for a lot of jobs. I mean, as a DP, for me, it's clear. Like you need some sort of style.
But I think it's different if you like a photographer or a DP compared to anyone who's involved in post-production or pre-production. I think it's very different because I think for DPing, I think you're gonna get hired for the quality of your work, but most likely for your style as well. For instance, if you this is it's like photographers. If you're really good at portrait, for instance, high key fashion portrait, like portraiture, you're not gonna get landscape work, for instance. Whereas I think for people involved in the post-production process, I think they're also there to support the original vision of whoever is in charge. Essentially, either it's the agency or the director, the DP. And I think this is why I agree with what Dave says, is you're here to support the vision of someone else,
but
not necessarily apply your own.
Isn't anyone really there to support the vision of someone else? I
think the entire post-production and the creative, like the art department and stuff on set and gaffers and stuff, they support the vision of, I'd say, the director and the DP, in my opinion.
But I think also a DP is there to support the vision of the director.
Yeah, but he adds his own style sort of to it.
Because I would argue everyone does that to a certain extent. Everyone puts his own creativity, his own collaboration in there to a certain extent.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
And then that makes this whole, I mean, that's what's so beautiful about filmmaking. That raises the whole bar.
Of course, but you want to be confident enough that if you go with Dave for color grading, for instance, he'll be able to get where you want to go.
Exactly.
Yes.
But have the technicality and the experience and the creativity to get there, because as a director or DP, you're not a colorist, so you don't know how to get there. But you have you need to be confident enough that someone like Dave will be able to translate the lousy emails 100%. And words that you're saying into something like visual.
Yeah, I had this experience where I made this mistake that I was so fascinating, but from the pictures and the mood that I thought, now I can surely create this kind of look that I not always wanted to do, but what I intended to do.
Yeah.
So I created that look, and it didn't fit the story.
On a certain job you're
On a-
talking about.
on a
Oh,
certain-
yeah.
This was 2 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and this job, it's pretty straightforward. It's nothing like experimental or artistically. It was a pure project in a storytelling wise. And I thought, yes, this kind of blue in the shadows and this kind of skin tones and blah blah blah. I sent it to the director, and the director told me from the beginning, look, Dave, it should be pure like the story, and it should be clean, and it should feel, I don't know how we said it, but something like soft and pure, you know. And I didn't make that because I saw it.
You had something else
Yeah,
in mind.
I saw it in my mind in another way. I thought it would be okay. I said, no, David, it's not like that.
Yeah.
And I watched it again a day later because I was so into it. So I made the mistake that I ignored the whole department, let's say,
Yeah.
and I put my vision,
Put your own head
only
in
my
there.
vision,
Yeah.
only my vision into it. And this was a mistake. Then I canceled the whole grading because I was like, how do you say that? Disappointed with myself because I put me first. And I know you can't do that in post because you are here to listen, to understand, and to create, and not my own vision, my own style, contrast-wise or darkness-wise, but not the whole vision. So then I made a second version, and I really concentrate on his vision, and he loved it. Then this exact project, I sent it to the Colorist Awards 2021, and is shortlisted.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
And now this April in Rome, there is like the ceremony.
Yeah.
And if
Congrats.
I win, it's a really
Whoa.
interesting story if I win.
Of course.
Because
That's
I-
this project?
Yeah, because I created something that I wanted and I failed.
Yeah.
And I went back, I canceled everything, put my head together again, listened to his, put of course my own tweaks and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
And now it's shortlisted.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I
That speaks a
Collaboration.
lot.
Yeah.
That speaks a
Collaboration.
lot,
yeah, it's
That's
a
it.
collaboration, and it's not your ego because
Exactly.
it's not even my film, you know. He put the money, the vision with the DP. It's not me to change it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
It's always in your head. You have that certain. I mean, you have an opinion. It's you have an opinion, and in your head, it's very quickly that it gets like, this would look better. Come on, and then, but for me, I have the same experiences in my head. Like sometimes I think I'd do it differently. If this was my movie, I would make other decisions.
Yeah.
And then, but of course, it's a collaboration, and that's always you have to find ways to work around and to find to collaborate. And at the end, you see the product, and you're like, "Wow, this is 10 times better than if I had done it alone,
Yeah,
or
of
if
course.
this person had done it alone." Because together, it always grows. It might not look in the beginning like it,
Always.
but at the end, you're
Always.
like, "Wow."
The
Yeah.
more people, the better in
Every
terms
time.
of creativity. I
Yeah.
think.
And that's the beauty of it.
Do you find yourself regrading some projects you've worked on just because maybe the grade you did was in line with the director's vision, but you wanted to try something different and you regrade part of it for a reel, for instance, or something?
Let me think. Yeah, this was just one time.
Okay.
Yeah, this was the current show reel.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but it was only
you
like,
regraded some parts just to match better?
yeah, but not like regraded.
Okay.
I just took the render,
Yeah.
the master version, and I don't know, I put some blue in it or
Okay.
make it a little bit brighter or darker, but not like I opened the project and really went into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just that I rewind my pictures and I feel like, nah, this should be a little bit more blue
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
for my reel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, sure.
but it's
Do you-
not like a drastically change.
No, it's just like some
It's just
tweaks.
a tweak. Yeah.
Do you catch yourself often looking back at your work from some years back and being like, "Oh God, what did I do?"
Yeah. Oh God, not. To be honest.
Good.
Yeah.
Good,
sign,
that's good.
But maybe a little bit more contrast, maybe.
Some things you did differently today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're also heavily influenced by like
The styles
the
that are-
styles
yeah.
that are in like trendy kind of,
Mhm.
and
Of course.
especially
a
if
lot.
you work a lot in the commercial world. I think a lot of people, you try to emulate styles depending on like the time, what's trending basically.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that happened a lot when like a
Of
lot of people
course.
started shooting with like especially on social media with like S-Log and stuff,
Yeah.
and they were barely grading
Yeah.
anything. It was super
No
flat.
color.
Yeah, and I think it's just like trendy. It's like a
Yeah.
trend.
Yeah. I mean, when the RE Alexa came out,
Yeah,
then the first years everything was like log.
yeah, and I
Because they
think
loved it.
it looks
yeah.
pretty. I kind of like
yeah,
it.
yeah, this was like a trend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that everything looked extremely flat.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was like the quality
People
was
just-
so good.
Yeah.
But
Do you think it was really because people liked it, or because people didn't? I mean, because when I see it today or some time back, I usually think people just don't realize how much is to be gained by really coloring it. I
Yeah.
think a lot
What
of
do you
people.
mean?
I mean, frankly, sometimes it just gets forgotten. People don't realize how far you have to go from log
Oh yeah.
to, for example, Rec 79, like classic.
No, but I think like the big
that-
commercials, like when they were shooting on the Alexa and stuff,
Of course, they knew.
they knew, and I think it's just a look. Like for it's super
yeah,
trendy.
it was
Like
like a look. Yeah,
like nowadays, like the film emulation is like everything.
Mm.
Like everybody
Everything looks like
there-
film.
Yeah, everything.
yeah. This is a little bit sad.
Yeah, but I
In-
think it's just
in my
it
opinion.
evolves.
Yeah, it evolves. But
Yeah.
in my opinion,
Why is it sad?
no sad? I mean, because of course you want it to look like a lot of people want it to look like analog still.
Yeah,
And of course I use also some kind of Kodak LUTs or Fuji LUTs or even mixed with negative LUTs. It's not LUTs, but it's like picture styles.
yeah,
And but I am not motivated then to also like put the texture like in film, or the halation like in film,
Yeah.
or the bloom like in film,
The weave gate.
or the weave gate,
Yeah.
etc. I mean, because I'm really that kind of colorist, like it's minimalistic and I want to fit the story.
Yeah, 100%.
If they ask me, look, I want a 16 millimeter grain, which I love, and the look
Who doesn't?
and the blur, etc., I will do it, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not my approach that if someone watch my project, oh, this was shot on 35 millimeter. They
Yeah.
think because it was made so good.
yeah.
The
Okay.
look. I am not
It's not
motivated
your
by
goal.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not motivated by that.
Yeah,
Really not.
100%.
I see really nice pictures on Instagrams from really, really good colorists, and everything looks like film.
yeah.
Also the textures and the darkness of the
Print.
and
Yeah.
I mean the skin tones are pretty dark and saturated. All these characteristics, it looks really, really good. I love it. But it's not my main motivation. When I grade, so yeah,
Fake it.
now let's put this inside. If they want it, of course, nice.
Yeah.
But it's not my approach.
Okay.
Yeah, I use film prints, but then after it, I'm not motivated to put all the other
Yeah.
thing in it.
Yeah.
It can be a little gimmicky, I think. Like sometimes it serves a purpose if you really want to sell the 16 mil look because it's supposed to be 16 mil,
Yes,
stuff
of
like
course,
that.
do it.
But
yeah.
like having like 100% of the time, all those halation and stuff, it's just a trend. I think
Yeah.
it's
Of course,
super trendy.
But I
and
think
then-
it comes with everything. It's not only in filmmaking. It's with everything. At the moment, retro. It's super. This nostalgia.
yeah, everybody's shooting
80s, 70s,
analog and stuff.
And they
Shooting
ask
analog.
also for this.
Yeah, and
The-
also clothes,
yeah.
like clothes, cars.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, freaking what's it called? The discs, vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's back.
Mhm.
Like shooting film, it's back. It's just all this stuff. This
Yeah.
vintage love. It's just
Yeah.
all around, and it comes with film too, and it's gonna go
Yeah.
away too. Again,
Yeah.
there's gonna be other things coming.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch movies in theater who was shot digitally and
Yeah.
then graded, of course, it has this film print characteristic,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, what I observe, they don't put then all the other stuff
Yeah.
in it. They do it, of course. I cannot really analyze everything exactly,
Yeah.
but I think on
But they're not
Instagram,
trying.
but on Instagram compared to movies, it's like on Instagram they do even a better job
Yeah.
to look at like
Yeah.
real film. And then in theater, it's like the vibe of this Kodak or Fuji or whatever it is, and maybe a little bit of glow, let's say. And it's subtle because it should fit the story. It should fit
And
the
also,
story.
it's okay because it's a
Yeah.
mix of
Yeah.
both mediums.
Yeah.
It's a mix of analog. It has some characteristics from analog
It
that
is
people
nicer.
like,
Yeah.
but also it has that that digital crispness or whatever,
think they're-
and that's okay.
Yeah.
They're
It's a
mixing a
mix.
lot. Like the Batman, I think, the latest one they released.
Yeah.
I think they shot it digital and then they printed it on
Exactly.
film and then
Oh.
they rescanned it as something like this.
Okay, I don't know.
So that's how you get the. I don't know some of the characteristics. I
Yeah.
guess I don't know, but some process involves like a little bit of both.
Of
I don't
both.
know.
It's
Yeah,
not
could-
like 100% color grading. It's just
yeah, it could be. Yeah.
yeah. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Experimenting also,
Yeah.
just trying out.
Earlier you mentioned being known like internationally helps with like career and stuff. We also noticed, and we mentioned it already. You are a member of the CSI,
C.S.I. Colorist Society International, right?
International. Can you talk a little bit about what it is and how you got there and how it helps you?
So it's like let's say a guild,
Mhm.
let's say, and it's nothing special. I mean, it's not that they are promoting you. It's just that you are in that circle.
Yeah.
Let's say, and when you are in, you also pay a yearly month's fee. And and of course, if you did something great, I don't know, a theater movie, or you are winning something, then you get mentioned there and stuff like that. But it was for me like a goal. It's not something that every colorist is there. Not every colorist is there, because it's nothing like a little bit also of marketing, in my opinion.
Of course.
But
It's like a quality sign also,
yeah,
no?
yeah, it's pretty that, for me.
Yeah.
And to get into it, you have to write them, and then you have to, I don't remember, I think you have to pick 2 colorists who are already members,
Uh-huh.
and you send them like your bio, your website, your
To the
work.
colorists.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then they look at your resume and all the thing you did already, and then they have to approve it.
The 2 that you chose.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And you can randomly choose,
Yeah.
from the list, or maybe someone.
Yeah.
You can ask Dave if you wanna.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can ask Dave now.
Ask Dave.
One you have already.
One you have already.
One connection.
Yeah. And then you get in, and then you are in this member list, and you are
Yeah.
listed, and you can use the how do you say it, the acronym? I don't know.
The acronym CSI.
Yeah.
Like the DOPs use
ASC.
ASC,
Yeah.
or from the Britain it's BSC
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, from it. It's something like that. But of course, the level of a DP for being in that circle, it's much more respected and valuable than a colorist one, because the colorist and the DOP society, it's like, how do you say that, like a real approve.
Yeah.
And the CSI is something like independent,
Understand. Yeah.
that some guys or a team invented. Like it's not like because the difference is also, if you want to be in that circle of the cinematographer list, they pick you.
Yeah. You don't apply.
No applying.
And you really have to have a resume like a top-notch guy.
Impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very hard if you don't do features.
Yeah.
I don't think you
Sorry?
can if you don't do features. I think it's
Probably
very,
hard,
very,
yeah.
very
Yeah.
hard to get in there.
Yeah.
And the Colorist Society, it's like you write them, you choose, and then maybe you get to approve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And so, do you meet them, or
No.
have you ever met them? Is there like meetups yearly
No.
or something? No.
No, that's why it's like a something like a guild or something.
community
yeah.
kind of
Yes,
also,
yeah. But it's but of course, if you have this C.S.I., then it means something.
It's a stamp of
course.
approval.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's for me, it's a sign of quality.
Yeah.
It's like a stamp.
It is.
Like this guy
Yeah.
is legit.
It
He's
is.
not just starting out and faking stuff.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah. Like I said, you have to really show that you have skills.
Yeah.
And the cinematography, it's really like you really are a real artist on the top-notch level,
Yeah.
and that you're so good that they reach to you.
Yeah.
And when you have this ASC, then it means something.
You made it.
Yeah, you really made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So did you notice any difference? Like, did people talk to you about it? Like when you got in, and since you have this little, this kind of
Stamp.
this stamp,
Yeah.
you know, did people talk to you and like, oh wow, you're at the CSI?
CSI.
Yeah. No.
Did anything change?
Maybe, but I don't know it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't notice anything
Maybe
special.
they are. They are aware of this,
Yeah.
but. It's
or did you
not-
charge more, like something like that?
No, I charged more because I have more experience, more high end clients, of course. But yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Talking about charging and stuff, like how do you, because coloring a project can be fairly fast or fairly long depending on who you work with and who you collaborate with. How do you do the estimates at first? Could just be based on your experience, you know, oh, it's a 35-second commercial with that many shots that you know more or less, or
Yeah.
do you have to wait until the first meeting with the director to know, oh, this look or what he wants to achieve is going to take twice as long or stuff like this?
Yeah, so basically, I'm mainly active in commercials and documentary. So in commercial, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
If there is no like matte VFX or, you know, a highly complex commercial, then I charge
You know, you have
just
a
for one day
Yeah.
because it can be done in one
That's
day.
up to what, a minute?
30 second, 45,
Okay.
maybe sometimes
Maybe
it's
up
a
to a minute,
minute because they do two versions
Yeah.
of it. But anyway, more than a day, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's not real complex and they want really like
Wow.
dive deep into it, every aspect has to be, I don't know, then you could also do it in 2 days or 3 days, just 30 seconds. But what I do in one day, it's done.
Yeah.
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 And does it
it's a lot of
straightforward?
work. Yeah, and it's a lot of work. Yeah, because sometimes it's only. Yesterday, I had 4 shots. One day,
Whoa, okay.
Wow.
and and I thought half day.
Yeah.
I will do it.
No.
No, not because I was slow. Because we have to pick this color. We have to pick this color. What about the skins? What about the hair? You know, it takes time.
Because you tweaked everything
Yeah.
individually.
Yeah. At first, not, but then maybe we can do optimize
A rabbit
here.
hole.
Yeah,
Is it, do you think,
but
because
it's okay. That's why I only charge one day and not half day or
Yeah,
2 hours
yeah.
because I don't care.
Doesn't exist.
No, because it's, let's say I charged half day because she said or he said it's only 2 shots, you know, 3
Yeah.
shots. You can do it in a half day. Yeah, I can do it in a half day, but what if you like it and then you see even more potential and you say, yeah, but what about this?
Yeah.
What about this? And then I have to say, it's not in the budget. And and
no one is happy?
Yeah, and I want really to create for that day the best
That you can
that they can
yeah,
get.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
That's why I only charge one day. Sometimes I'm finished in 6 hours, 4 hours, but sometimes I even take 9 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't overcharge them
Yeah.
No.
because
It's
it's,
a-
my
it's a fee.
bad.
Yeah.
I said one day,
Yeah. Of
like
course.
8 hours, more
No, I
or
agree.
less.
It's the same to me.
Yeah.
If I'm not in charge of the schedule, then I have like certain hours. But if I'm in charge of the schedule and I decide how long we take, then that's everything I calculated. That's on me.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be easier for you sometimes to be on set and see how they shoot things for color grading? Because I know sometimes I work sometimes with editors that like to be on set and see the shot list and being just in the environment because they know, oh, can you do this pickup shot real quick and this pickup shot because I know how in the final edit it's going to turn out. Would you like to be on set more just to understand the look, maybe work with the DIT or something, you know?
No. Pre-production, like they shoot some tests and stuff, be involved in pre-production, yes.
Okay.
If my main work was feature films, maybe it was like that
Of
automatically.
course,
Yeah.
Much more.
Yeah.
Because you have to do dailies and
Yeah.
stuff. And like
So documentary stuff, no.
no way.
No, because they are everywhere, you know?
Maybe running
they're-
around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Possible.
And commercial, it's not necessary because, like I said, I have some kind of experience, and I know it's a commercial. You know, it's nothing like wow, mind blowing. It's just
Make it look good.
make it look good, fit the story. When it's branded content, it's all about story and mood. I don't have to be there and give my opinion to something. I mean, they are pros.
Yeah.
The DP is a pro, the director is a pro, the whole crew are pros.
Yeah.
What I am doing there? What about the light? What about the shirt?
Yeah.
Maybe put the set designer knows. I don't have to
That's
go.
why they're there.
Yeah, I have not to go there and talk about color schemes.
Yeah.
And
Of course,
stuff.
yeah.
They
Makes sense.
know it, and if they make mistakes, that can happen. I can change it
Yeah.
in post. Yeah.
That's right.
So it's maybe there are colorists who would
I think
love.
we have to.
We just redo it.
Yeah.
You can keep on going.
Maybe there are colorists who works like that. I don't know. Like I said, I am not mainly active in feature films, so there is of course another workflow, and so for me it's okay like it is.
Do you find yourself often like fixing things? Because I see a lot of
Yeah.
projects, and I really see like, okay, that was lit more or less by the grader. You know what I mean? Do you see yourself do that a lot?
Yeah, so 80% of my job more or less is fixing stuff.
Wow, 80%.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
but
I thought it was less.
But that doesn't mean that you have to put mask everywhere. That means you have to make the conversion, like Rec 709 and the white balance, so the whole primary, secondary stuff, coherent.
Yeah.
This is the most difficult part.
Yeah.
And it takes time.
Yeah.
Then the look, if you made a good job, it's 20% or even less
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Because everything fits. And if you don't have to produce or to create a complex workflow to create the look, then it could be just copy paste,
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
because
That makes
everything
sense.
is done well.
Yeah.
So that's why, from my perspective, I invest a lot of time in that.
Yeah.
In the color balance.
Yeah.
Like the first thing you
Yeah,
do.
contrast, saturation, white balance, fixing skin tones, maybe sky, grass. You know that everything
That's
is
interesting.
it's in one flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've worked together once before. Remember?
Yeah, it was
And,
a long time ago.
It was a long time
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, it was probably like 2.5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
2 years ago, a bit more. And I remember that kind of stayed because I went to your suite and we colored. I sat next to you and we colored that together. And I remember you really for a lot, like you spend a lot of time really like conforming everything and getting it to look to match, and because the project it was a kind of what do you call it?
Image video or was not?
No, it was image, but it was the style of the thing was not silhouette movie. How do you call that? Like if it's just a lot of shots after each other, it doesn't really have a.
A montage.
Yeah, it's montage, but I'm looking for another movie. Anyway, vignette film.
Oh yeah.
A vignette
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
It was film. It was a lot of vignettes, different shots, and you spend a lot of time. So that's very interesting
And
to hear
fixing,
because I
yeah.
remember that.
But
Yeah.
that's
A
one of the
lot
most
of-
important thing.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it merges everything together. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And then really your quality of work also depends on the production value and how
Of
great
course.
they have produced it. Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
Because 10 years ago or even less, when I started really as a professional, I graded with DSLR footage,
Yeah.
some GH something.
And the first kind of digital,
Yeah.
you know.
And there I was like, I learned really to fix,
Yeah.
because you have to fix there. And then all of my project looked okay, because the consumer only sees the end result. So
Yeah.
for me, it's like, whoa, I did a big thing.
But you leveled up the whole production so much with your work.
But it didn't look fantastic. It just looked good.
Yeah.
Because you have to fix so much at the beginning.
You can only get it so far, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's like a big step, but for the people who watch it, it's like, yeah.
I think that's when you know
Yeah,
you do
I
a good
understand.
job, though. Like when people who watch what you do, they care about the story and what's going on in the frame more than like the technical aspects of things. Like if for instance, like the audience is focusing on like the bokeh, for instance, or on like the grain on the image, or on
Then
you messed up
overdid
something.
it,
You messed
probably,
up something
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Whereas if like everything flows together and like the audience just like gets everything in and like gets the end message, especially for commercials, they just get, oh, the product is cool, it's nice, beautiful, you get the
Yeah,
vibe.
100%.
That's the best. That's the best.
Yeah.
That's when you know you did a good job.
Yeah.
Now if you can transition to a little bit of gear talk. You talked
he
about
loves that.
no,
He
people want to
loves
know.
that. They know.
You mentioned your coloring suite, and we know coloring suites differ a lot from editing, just pure editing suites or stuff like this. Can you walk us through what your editing suite looks like?
So my grading suite is like, gray, because I need some natural colors.
All the walls are gray.
No, just in front of me, and the wall on the left, it's like half
Okay.
gray.
If you paint the whole room like 8% gray, you get crazy. It's just the most boring color
Yeah.
like ever.
Yeah, but it looks elegant.
It looks
Yeah,
very
it's elegant.
elegant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And clean also. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it.
So since I work alone, I have also to write checks and something. So I need a laptop, of course.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty happy that not everything is gray,
Yeah.
and I can
Take your laptop. and,
open windows so the sun comes in.
yeah.
So, but basically, let's say it's a gray room with sound absorbers, with some speakers, with a.
Why do you need the sound absorber and the speakers for?
Yeah, because the room, it's like, I don't know how to say it in English, but it has a lot of
Echo?
Echo.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, because I don't have much furnitures
Okay.
there,
Yeah.
and so it didn't bother me at the beginning. But then a composer came in that I know, and he's a pro, and he said, "How can you
Work in this
work in
environment.
here? Do
He
you
was
don't
like,
do you don't hear all the echo? No." And then he clapped, and then you hear, you know. But
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me, you know. I was so
You were used to it.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
used to it. And then we heard his songs that he made because he's a producer of electronic sound.
Okay.
His name is Mavarel.
Okay.
Okay.
From Bern.
Yeah. And
Mavarel.
Yeah, and he's pretty good. And so he didn't enjoy 1 minute
In the
No.
studio.
No.
In the suite.
hearing his sound, because he said, "No, I can't."
Yeah.
And I have some Adams speakers, so they are good quality.
Yeah.
And he didn't enjoy it. So then,
Oh.
I don't know if it was years later or a couple of months, I don't remember. He had the opportunity to have absorbers for free.
Oh, nice.
So he said, "Look, I
I
have."
know where they're going.
Yeah. He updated his studio, and he had some left. So we went to my studio, and then we installed the absorbers. And then for the first time,
You realized.
I realized the difference. Yeah, I don't have much,
Yeah.
but it is
It's enough already?
It is a
Yeah.
big difference.
Do you have them at the ceiling as well?
I
Or
have
just-
some on the ceiling too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and it is really a different.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because actually, are they like this kind of on the wall?
No, yeah, on the wall, but not like in how to say that,
In a box.
in a box. It just
Okay, but they're also kind of these, or is it these typical ones?
yeah,
like on
some
the,
kind
on
of
the,
these, yeah.
Okay.
But bigger,
Because I actually, I think I watched the YouTube video, which was only about like sound absorbers and how to improve the sound in your room, and I heard that just a few of those, it actually doesn't do anything. Apparently, it's
You have to have
a
the
lot
whole
of. You have to
ceiling?
have like all or nothing, and that's interesting. That
On
you
the
say
level that
such a-
sound engineers,
Of course.
yeah, but for me, I have
For
of
the
course,
ears, just-
but it's really a different.
Wow.
It's really a different, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
If you in the front, on the side, on the ceiling, then
Yeah.
maybe on a corner, it's really
Few of
make a
them.
difference.
Wow.
Really.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I have to soundproof my studio, and this is making me crazy.
The whole studio,
No, but like
or just the
because I have a studio that has really high ceilings
Yeah.
for shooting,
Okay.
and the echoes. I can't shoot anything with dialogues.
Okay.
But once there's more things in there,
Yeah.
it's gonna help already. I think.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
not,
wow.
not enough.
Not enough, yeah.
No.
But it's
Wow,
so
yeah,
high.
that's true.
Anyways, we're
Anyways,
your
then
su-
then,
your
then
suite-
yeah, then I have a reference monitor, of course. Without it can't work.
Mhm.
And then I have the Blackmagic mini panel.
Mhm.
So not the micro, but the mini panel. And
Is that the one with the screens?
yeah, with the
Yeah.
screens.
And then you have 3 knobs,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So 3 wheels.
Oh, 3 wheels.
Yeah. And what I have, a Stream Deck,
Mm.
because the panel, I missed some features in the panel. So I installed it
So you
in
can-
the Stream Deck. Yeah,
Okay.
like Note before, create
Oh, like
version.
quick
A
access.
lot of
Yeah.
people do that because
Yeah.
for some reasons they don't like it. It seems like you don't have enough buttons on the
The
panel.
panel.
Yeah,
right?
because you can buy the big one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No.
So
Yeah.
the Stream Deck, just for understanding, it's like a panel with just buttons that you can program, right?
That's
More
right.
or less.
You can do whatever.
Yeah.
You can start it. you
Whatever,
can start
yeah.
Spotify and
Exactly. You can just
Well,
yeah.
program the buttons to anything.
Yeah, shortcuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the
Okay.
monitor, you have your laptop's monitor. You have a monitor for GUI or like your stuff.
Yeah, so the laptop, it's only for admin.
Yeah.
Then I have 2 cheap screens just for GUI and scopes.
Yeah.
And then in front of me, the reference monitor.
Right.
What reference monitor do you have?
Flanders, it's a 42-inch
Okay.
LCD.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
how do you go from your computer into the monitors? Do you have a what's
Ultra
it called?
Studio, like the
Yeah.
bypass the color
Exactly.
profile?
Like
Yeah, of
how do
course.
you-
yeah.
yeah.
I have, since I'm on PC, since 6 months,
Yeah.
I have a Decklink card.
Oh yeah. PCI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. It's like Studio Duo.
Yeah.
It's an old one, but it works. And then it is connected with the SDI cable to my monitor.
Right.
Yes.
Can you explain for people that don't understand, why do you need that? Why can't you just plug in your computer into your monitor and it works? I mean, the image is there.
Yeah,
What's-
because you need a clean feed. That means that your graphic card and your OS version do their own color management, let's say.
Right.
So you can change graphic card and it could then and the picture could look different. And then the benefit it's also that it is not only clean feed signal, it's also a true 10-bit 422 at least. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the difference.
Right.
And this is a big difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you have a question? Sorry.
Yeah, I had a question. Do you have a question about the suite?
Kind of. Yeah.
Quick ask mine. You said you were working on PC, and
Yeah.
DaVinci is known for not having ProRes exports
Yeah,
on PC.
That's true.
How do you bypass this for when you send back the XML to the client?
Yeah, so this is pretty straightforward. You have, let's say, 2 industry standard formats. It's like ProRes and DNX HR.
Yeah.
So I use the Avid codec,
Okay.
and sometimes I wrap it in a QuickTime
Mm.
or really in a MXF
MXF,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have not one client who told me, what's that? I cannot open. It's just industry
Works.
standard.
Yeah.
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 And that's it. Yeah.
You never get requests specifically for ProRes.
No. So in my past, of course, when I was on Mac, I always render it in ProRes.
Yeah.
But there was no client who bothers because it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same quality. Yeah.
staying a bit with the monitors, I think it's an interesting topic because these days there's so much out there, so many different color spaces and transforms and different brands saying this is super clear image, blah blah blah. You lose your head.
Mhm.
To people starting out that wanna, like maybe not colorists but filmmakers who
Mhm.
color themselves, if they wanna get something good to start out with, not a professional reference monitor, maybe
Yeah.
the budget is not enough.
Yeah.
What would you recommend to them? What to get? What to look for in order to
Yeah.
get something
Yeah.
close to
Mhm.
true?
Yeah, I don't know exactly the model type,
Mm-hmm.
but what I saw is, and I experienced also, that the new line of Asus Pro line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a HDR job, and the director had one monitor that was a Asus Pro line. I don't remember the model exactly, but it was a 32-inch 4K HDR capable monitor, and this was a good one, yeah. But of course, the one he chose is still 4,000 and something
Yeah.
Swiss
Oh, okay.
francs. But compared to what it can, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there. Sorry.
No.
I think there are a lot of ASOS monitors that are like kind of like the in between like the
Yeah, the Asus Pro line.
yeah,
Yeah.
No, not Asus, ASO.
Ah, ASO.
ASO,
Yeah.
yeah.
ISO.
Yeah.
E-I-Z-O.
Yeah, the Swiss
ISO.
brand.
That's a
yeah.
Swiss brand. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they have like calibrators like integrated.
Yeah.
And they auto calibrate.
Yeah.
But I think the Flanders, like the one Dave has, like this is the
I mean,
industry
Flanders is
standards
industry standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for like 100%.
And
Yeah.
ISO is kind of photography standard, I
Yeah.
guess. Here,
Yeah.
at
But you
least.
still get
A lot
10 bit. You still get 10 bit.
Yeah.
And decent.
But maybe in terms of terms, like what should they look for? Maybe not brand specifically, but what is like the thing you really need in order to get like almost
Yeah.
accurate image? Like, is it the 99S RGB? Is it?
Yeah. So basically, you really need 100% Rec 709.
Mhm.
You need that.
Yeah.
And then that you can choose between 2.4 gamma or 2.2 gamma, and that it's really 100 peaking 100 nits
Yeah.
through the whole screen,
Yeah.
and that you can at least put an SDI signal in it or a HDMI, so you can put it in a studio box or from Blackmagic or Decklink.
Yeah.
And maybe it could be for your advantage that you can do the calibration, that it has the software in it and the
Right.
hardware to do the calibration, and that is a true 10-bit monitor.
Yeah.
They write something, sometimes it's 10-bit, but you have to really look out that it's not processed, that it
Yeah.
can really display a true 10-bit signal.
So it's not easy. It's a hard task to find the right.
So if you don't have the budget, or you don't want to spend, let's say, I can imagine that the Asus Pro line with only in HD and Rec 709, maybe you find something between 1,500 to 2,000. Maybe it's less. So if you have some kind of budget, it's much easier,
Of course.
because you go with
Flanders.
Flanders,
Yeah.
or you go, let's say, with Asus Pro line or some kind of HP Dreamcolor stuff. If you have a range like, let's say, 500, then you have a big choice, and nothing is really effective. So you buy the best of the worst,
Exactly. Yeah.
So 1,000 you should invest, because
Okay.
then you can go with maybe a bank. On YouTube I saw some reviews that they said, okay, for color grading with the studio box or Decklink card, it's pretty good. I have also a friend who uses the bank since years, and he's happy so far. So, but I would say 1,000 you just invest if you really care about color.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even as a non-colorist.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But what I've read, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people say if you start color grading, just use like the monitor you can afford, whatever, because
Yeah,
you're
of
not
course.
going to be able
At
to.
the end, it's
And
like
then
that.
You
and
have
then
to.
don't bother necessarily going through a clean feed so far, and then save a little bit and get a true reference monitor
Yeah.
that you'll be able to use
Years.
years.
Yeah, of course.
So if you like, for instance, like I was looking at the Flanders, like the 24-inch, whatever, it's 4K. It's like 4,000 Swiss francs. You say, okay, it's a huge investment, but what if I use it for 6 years? 8 years, even,
Yeah, or even more.
even more. Then
Yeah.
you see, okay, then it's an investment for the future of.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but I would say if you are not a colorist, or you want not to be
Yeah.
a colorist, then maybe it's overkill.
Oh,
a Flanders.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
even a Asus Pro line, even
Yeah.
if it's much cheaper, I would say it's overkill. But if you really care, because you really want to try, of course, then go this way
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the Asus. But
And if you're thinking long term also.
yes,
It's not just, I want to try for a year.
It's not
and
one
then-
project. Yeah.
yeah. But if you are like a filmmaker who cares about colors,
Yeah.
that you want to create your own stuff and you want some kind of reference, then maybe like a bank or something, or a HB Dream Color.
Dream Color.
Yeah. It's maybe the better choice. I don't know the prices yet. I don't remember every price, but maybe it's Dream Color also overkill. Maybe price wise, I don't know.
I think the Dream Color, because I just went through
Yeah.
this whole thing with the
Yeah.
monitors, and
Yeah.
if you want to buy them just for the reference monitors, I don't think the price difference is that different from
bit
like a Flanders.
yeah.
I think it's probably like maybe 3.2K, like
So it's pretty expensive.
It's pretty expensive.
They
as
go up
well.
that high?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for if you get like the high end ones in
high-end
the
one.
lineup.
Yeah.
So the difference between like a small Flanders and like these really high end, it's
But it's a
little
small
bit along-
Flanders, like
yeah.
17-inch or something.
24. I saw 24.
So it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
So it's like if you're really, I think, worried about the colors and you want the reference monitor, save that extra maybe 800 and then get a Flanders.
Yeah. With
Yeah.
Flanders, you have to check if you take, if you are interested in the cheaper ones,
Yeah.
then maybe it's a 8-bit panel. Maybe.
Or could,
Maybe.
yeah, could be.
Because they
It
have
could be.
also 8-bit panels who are pretty cheap for the quality. But I would say,
But they're production monitors.
yeah, but I would say take the 8-bit and it's a Flanders
Yeah.
with a clean feed instead of a Dream Color who is maybe more expensive,
Yeah.
where you don't really know what it has inside, because Flanders is like an industry standard.
Yeah.
So I would prefer a 8-bit Flanders
Then a 10-bit.
instead of a 10-bit
Yeah.
something else.
Which you're not 100% sure
Yeah.
if it's...
Yeah. But this is my opinion, because I use Flanders since,
Ever.
yeah, not since ever, because not from the beginning I could afford some kind of expensive monitor. So when I started with some cheap monitors, some traditional generic models, and I had a TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I had from the beginning was a clean feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I didn't miss
must-have.
that. Yeah. But of course, it's a big difference if you grade on a reference monitor or on some kind of monitor, because when I started and I cannot afford the reference monitor, I had, for every project, I checked it on this monitor, on the TV monitor. Then I went home with a USB stick. I put the USB stick on the PlayStation. Then I watched it on TV.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
every time it was
Different.
Yeah.
horrible.
I didn't care much different about the blues or the greens or the contrast, but the skin tone.
Yeah.
This was so important, and I freaked out every time, because on my TV it was red. On this TV, on this monitor, it was not bad. On this monitor where I graded, it was good, because I adapted there. And I didn't have much experience with scopes, so it was a hassle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So investing in a reference monitor or in a good monitor with a clean feed, it's really crucial. Yeah.
But you still have the differences in all the different
Yeah.
screens.
Yeah, but it's not exact. I watch it on my laptop. When it's online, I watch it on my reference monitor, of course. I go home on my TV. it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not accurate, of course, because
it will
Because
never
the TVs
be.
do shit to your
yeah,
footage.
but
you know.
of course I have adapted my TV to good picture.
Yeah.
And my TV, I set it up a little bit too cool, but
Yeah.
just a slide. So I see that, but it doesn't bother me because it still looks good.
Yeah.
But before the reference era, it was like skin tone is here and now it's here.
Wow.
And now it's like, you know,
Oh, there's a little shift. Yeah.
some little shit
yeah,
who no
yeah.
one cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's
So-
gonna see.
This is
And-
the extra 5% that you
Yeah.
can like spend 5 days work on.
Exactly.
or-
Yeah, and that's why it's important also with clients, if you have several feedback rounds, especially with some marketing teams, that you really explain, look, I understand your feedback. Let's say if they are really off. Look, the director is next
How
to
do you mean
me.
they're off?
The
Wrong.
that
But who's wrong?
that
client.
yeah, if the client says, let's say the skin tone is too red,
Okay.
let's say,
Mhm.
and then the director is next to you, and you sit on our reference monitor, and it's, let's say it's perfect on the scope, it's perfect. Then you can say, for example, look, I understand it that you don't like it, but maybe it's your screen, because in our suite and with the director and with the scopes, it's really nailed it. But if you like it a little bit more red, I can do it, because it can happen that then when I correct it to your red that you like on your monitor, it looks great. But
And
for
then
the
on the
rest
next one.
of the rest of the world, maybe
Yeah.
it's really off. Because if we put it on the right spot and then it's slightly off, it's okay. But if I adapt it on your screen and then it's a huge shift, then when I watch it on my iPhone or iPad or I don't know where, it's, you have a really huge shift. You want to avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this happens rarely,
Yeah.
that they are that off. Yeah.
It's interesting because since we work in this industry and we care about screens and what colors are represented, how colors are represented and everything, when I go to like offices and I see because I don't see it a lot, but when I go to like offices and see like really cheap office monitors and see my work there, maybe reviewing with a client
Yeah.
or whatever, I am shocked at
Yeah.
how different stuff can look.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear it all the time, but when you really see it and you made something, you created something, you know how the colors are supposed to look like, and then you see it there, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
And this is all over the world. It's every TV might be a slight bit different, and
Every
Yeah.
phone
It-
screen,
it's
every
insane.
computer screen.
Yeah.
every
even if
TV.
it's the same, even if we have both an iPhone 12, whatever, it might still be different. It's insane.
Yeah, but you really like, if you want some kind of accuracy at the best possible way, at least a clean feed.
Yeah.
At least that. Yeah. I mean, my friends make fun of me because every time I go to their houses,
You bring it clean.
I let's say I calibrate their monitor, and then I saved it with a
profile,
name,
yeah.
with a profile, and then they make fun of me when we watch TV because then they switch back to their profile just to make
To
me
annoy
angry.
you.
Yeah, to annoy me. And then every time, how can you watch
Good
a
friends.
movie
Oh
like
my
that?
God.
Good friends.
And they love it, you know. When we watch a football game, the grass, it's really so neon green,
Yeah.
and the skin tones are red. They love it. They loved it. They love
They've
it.
watched TV for the
Yeah.
past 15 years like that.
Yeah.
They thought
Yeah.
it looks like
And
that.
then when they switch to the color profile that I did, yeah, but you know, it's like black and white, you know.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah,
well,
because the other is
yeah.
oversaturated.
But,
yeah.
but then I say, but look out of your window, the grass, it's pretty accurate, you know. It's a real. Nah, we want dynamic or sport or whatever it is, gaming or, you know.
And your heart is just.
I'm like, yeah, it's only a football game.
It's only a football
at least
game.
it's a football game. Yeah,
but
that's
if,
okay.
But if we would watch a movie, I would say, no, come on.
I'm
No
going
way.
home.
Yeah,
Either we
let's
switch or I'm
it.
going home.
You're disrespecting the colorist
Yeah.
that worked
Yeah.
on it.
Switch the profile to expert.
Oh god.
No, really. Yeah,
Yeah,
make
that
fun
makes
of-
sense.
No, but people are not aware how
No.
wrong they are looking
Mm.
at this image, but they are used to, because if you go in a store like an Interdiscount and they have all these 20, 30 monitor on the walls, they do it on purpose, these dynamic colors and all this saturated, bright, high contrasty color,
Yeah.
because then they put some kind of landscape drone footage
Yeah.
or some underwater
Super sharp.
footage. Yeah, and then of course it makes a high quality impression in a customer if he see that the
Pops. Make the color pop.
that the color pops, and see it's really blue, and the ocean is really blue,
Yeah.
because it speaks to them like, oh, it's good quality, can represent
Yeah,
so
it's
much
catching
color.
your eye.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, but for me, it's like, no,
Horrible.
no way, no way.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And people don't, frankly, people don't care. If you don't work in this, I've never heard a friend talk about that isn't interested in colors and visuals and film, photo, whatever. I've never heard them talk about, oh, these colors, oh my God, I can't watch this.
Yeah,
frankly don't care.
or it looks good in
Yeah.
some way, because the sad part is if you have like late noon atmosphere and you don't even touch the profile, you don't adjust anything, it looks like day,
Yeah.
like 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Even if it's a night scene, you see like everything,
Yeah.
and everything is extremely blue. And it doesn't look like night; it looks like late noon, maybe, but with a blue filter.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's say, and they don't get it.
No.
They don't get it. That
Yeah.
it must be wrong. It must be dark,
Yeah.
maybe desaturated.
Yeah.
They don't get it. They are just, oh wow, it's blue.
Yeah.
It's bright. You can see everything. Yeah,
People don't care.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the story of my life.
So I'm pretty happy that when I have to give my projects to my client, that they are not the end client. So they
Yeah.
are really,
They understand.
they understand, and we have a good time in feedbacks, and they even improve the image with their feedback.
That's
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah,
And not fuck
because
everything
you
up
are
because
you are working 8 hours, and then after maybe 5 or 6, 7 hours, you are a little bit tired. So maybe
course.
you don't see everything.
Yeah.
So they go with a fresh eye and
Yeah.
say, David, it looks good. Maybe here a tweak and there a tweak. And, okay, interesting. Then I tweak it. Oh, yeah,
Definitely.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see.
really good eye. Yeah.
100%.
Well, Before
Is the
we-
camera still good?
I'm not sure. Hold up.
Let's make a break.
You might have a little bit of non-footage of you. Before we wrap this up,
Yeah.
do you want to talk a little bit about the courses that you created
Yeah.
and that you're selling?
Yeah. Since 2014, I offer color grading courses, basing in advanced. These are for the Swiss clients, let's say, or the clients who want
In person.
who really want to be with me in my grading suite one-on-one. And now, since a couple of weeks, I decided to open it internationally. So I offer now color grading course to a broader audience, still one-on-one course, but with a Zoom app where where I can share my screen, you can share your screen,
Yeah.
and it's basically the same course, but it's still one-on-one.
Available for everyone now.
Available for everyone.
That's
yeah.
great.
It's a little bit more expensive that you expect, because it's a one-on-one course, of course, but yeah, this is the way it is. Yeah. And I would say I teached more than 70 or 80
No,
Wow,
nice.
colorist
People are-
since 2014.
So basically, they do if they want, they do a 2-day course, basic, and then advanced
Or
right
just
after,
one, or just one course.
or just one of them.
Yeah.
And then they graduated from Dave's color school. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You get a certificate, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really how I work in a perspective of a colorist and not
Yeah.
some kind of slash colorist or
Mm-hmm.
so. And now next week, if I am on time and I have the time, I want to, on YouTube, I want to offer look breakdowns from my real project, so not some stock footage.
Let's go. That's beautiful.
know?
Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
go. That's cool, man.
A lot of people actually said they want to do this here,
Yeah.
not just for color grading, of
Yeah.
course.
for cinematography.
So I think a lot of people are looking for
Yeah.
this. Perfect.
Yeah, because I see, of course, a lot of YouTube videos about color grading, of course, because there are so much. And what I miss, at least, is look breakdowns from real projects.
Yeah.
So not some kind of look recreation
Yeah.
or stock footage that are great, of course. I really want to talk about the briefing,
Right.
what the director said, what I suggested. And
Oh, really in
yeah,
depth, huh?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I would subscribe to this
Right now. Do it right now.
What's your YouTube
Do you have a channel already?
Yeah, because of my first product that I made, it's Dave's Color, of course.
Yeah,
Dave's Color.
Yeah.
All together.
Yeah, you see also my logo.
this will be in the show notes.
But there it's only, at the moment, only my product commercials.
Yeah.
So, but now I want to start to make look breakdowns.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exciting.
I hope the color grading of these videos is gonna be nice looking.
Yeah.
I'm
I
pretty
hope
sure
you
it
don't.
will.
I hope you don't. I hope you don't break down this podcast grading because
It has no consistency whatsoever
No,
in
no,
like
it doesn't.
throughout the
now we're
years.
trying with these lights, but
Oh, no,
it's hard.
no, it's
But
nice.
thank you so much for your time. It's been really fun. It's been already 2 hours of talking.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think it was you shared a lot of valuable information and a lot of your insight
Thank
into
you.
the life of a colorist in Switzerland and in Europe in general, I would say. So do you have anything to say that you want to say to the audience, or
To the audience.
You wrap it up, Dave. You wrap it up.
you
You're
wrap
it
gonna have
up.
the last words.
Yeah.
Okay, if you are interested in color grading, don't make the same mistake I did 2 years ago. Focus only on story and not of your dream look that you always want to create.
Nice.
And then you maybe will be nominated like I do.
Congrats.
Let's go! Good job.